We did it again. Wasn't me this time. Good morning. Well, we are going to have a busy day until it rains at least. And I haven't even looked at the radar to know if or when it's going to, but there was a chance today. So, I had a customer come and pick up 6 bags of corn already this morning for replant, which is why I left those 6 of that one variety out yesterday when I was filling the planter, because I had a feeling that might happen, and that was the variety I wanted to give. Did that. I've got, I think, a truck coming today at some point with some corn on it for me to keep planting. I do have some still in the barn down there. But yeah, anyway, we're going to keep replanting corn here. First, however, we've got to get back to treating beans. So I was talking to my dad and Phil this morning, and we have some beans that need spotted in, patched in. Not a lot, but there's a couple of fields that were a little thin. And one of them, at least, is going to wheat this fall. And so we wanted some early beans to be able to use for replant. So we get to treat a box. I've got some 2.2 beans, which is super early for our area, and since it's replant and the replant policy on treated beans, when we planted them the first time, if they were treated, they're 100% covered, including any seed treatment that we put on them. So I'm gonna treat them, and then we're gonna go plant them. And yeah, I was trying to get a hold of my sales rep to see if anybody else needs any beans, because while I'm treating, I might as well do more than one box if I'm going to do them. But I think this is all we're going to need. So I'm just going to do this one box, and we'll see if anybody else calls, I guess. Okay, so I made a phone call. Turns out we've got a lot of beans to treat. I just talking to one of my customers who I had been talking to and knew was going to need some beans, but didn't know how much exactly. And he tells me, well, I'm going to need at least a third of my order. Well, his order was almost 1,500 units. That's a lot. So, yeah, we are going to treat some beans. I don't have all of what he's going to want, but I've got 2 boxes of these 2.2s. So we're going to do one for us and one for him. And then I've got 3 boxes of a 2.9, 2981s that I'm going to get treated. So we're going to do 5 boxes this morning. I got to get back into the swing of this whole treating beans thing. Okay, well, he called me back again and added 2 more boxes to the order. So we are going to treat 7 boxes of beans this morning. I figured out what I needed for chemicals. I've been letting stuff mix up here. I have a feeling we're going to have to tap our last keg of cruiser, because I need almost 3 gallons, and I don't think there's 3 gallons in there. So I'm going to start measuring chemicals out, putting them into the treater. Okay, I think we're ready. I got some more boxes out that we're going to treat. I got the first one up here. Our chemicals are all mixed. Let's get our valves right. Process. Okay, so we need to prime our hoses. It's been quite a while since I've treated any beans, probably a month at least. At least a month, almost 2 months. Yeah, month and a half. So I got to remember how to do all this. Let's see. We got to edit this. If anybody is interested in how this whole process works and treating seed and mixing chemicals and all this, I did a lot of videos on this back in the end of March, 1st to April, and you can go check those out. I'm not going to go into it super in depth here because I did it a bunch then. So if you're new and you're interested, go back, check those out. Leave me questions and comments down below, and I'll answer them. Turning beans orange. Everything's working good here. All right, well, I had no idea I was going to be treating beans this morning. That was not in the plan, but you do what you got to do. So we got 1 more box that needs treated, and then we're done. We're going to dump them back real quick here because I got to get them out of the way and back in their boxes so they can get out of the door and possibly planted today. We'll see. Yeah, I did not have to tap my last keg of cruiser, but there's not much left in that one. It's pretty light, so there can't be much in there. That's a good thing. I was hoping to get that one used up at a minimum. And I'm out of beans, so we're ordering in some more beans. I think I've got another, I don't know what we're gonna get, 400 units or something brought in here. Okay, those treated beans are in them boxes ready to go. This one is ours. I'm gonna throw it in the back of my truck, take it down to the farm. We gotta go replant corn. Spending 2 hours treating beans this morning was not in the plan, so I don't know where the rain's at. I should look at the radar. That would be a smart thing to do, but we gotta go. Bags suck. Anyway, we need corn, and so we're gonna put in some of this. This is a different 103 day than the one we were planting yesterday. It's still good corn, it's just an older one that we're kind of replacing it with the other one. The other one I really like because of the grain quality. Really good test weight and stuff in the fall, which can be an issue when we're planting in June. So I'm trying to debate how much of this I want to put in. I think we're going to put 20 bags in. That'd be enough for 50 acres. The area we're going to go to and spot stuff in right now, that should work. A little go-go juice before we go to the field. All right, well, we're back to the patch job replants. Still got a little water down here. I'm almost a whole planter pass farther out than I was when I planted this the first time because of that wet water. You think the guys in Minnesota would plant through that? They might. I'm not gonna. Found some more iron. I don't know. You guys want to see how awesome RTK is? Look at this. That's the old row, obviously, where we're going over it. We're pretty well splitting the plants in half with the new seed, so we are dead on. This is the exact same spot we were the first time. That's really cool. Cut it right in half. This field's turning into more of a replant the majority of it than saving some of it. There's just a little bit out here, but not nearly enough. This one's rough too. There goes Phil. He's gonna piece in some beans, some of them that I traded this morning. This area seems to be one of the harder hit, just this couple fields in this general vicinity, so oh well, that's what it is. I know I said in yesterday's video that I would probably do a live stream this morning. Well, it's now noon and I haven't done it. Treating them beans kind of threw me off. Wasn't planning on that, and I'm in a different fields than I thought I would be this morning, so not gonna happen this morning, maybe later this afternoon, which will have already happened by the time you're seeing this, so anyway, I'm sorry. Another field done for the second time. Did 22 out of the 40 in this field. So this field we're in now, there's about 32 acres-ish in it. The front half, or third maybe, is kind of low, mucky ground. You can see the center of it here. There was a bunch of water and it drowned it out. Some of it we'll be able to replant, some of it we won't. But most of the higher ground in the front is not in too bad a shape, kind of like what we're just driving through right here. But the back half, back there, is that nice yellow clay ridge that got harder than a rock and nothing grew through it. So we are going to replant the whole thing. I had Phil come down here with the field cultivator this morning and rip it out, and it fit up pretty nice, so it should plant really good. Hopefully it comes up. I got a little close there. Things got a little sketchy. Ended up with 19 acres, just a little bit in the front here and then all the back. So it needs sprayed. This muck here in the front of this is high organic matter. It grows giant ragweeds really, really well. So we gotta get this sprayed now. Well, this is the next field I was gonna go to, but I can pretty well tell from here that there's no reason to pull into that field. I can see corn, good corn, all the way across the field. Even the end rows are good, so we're gonna drive right past that one and say, thank goodness. Excellent. Okay, well, I came back to the farm here. A couple of things I need to do. One, see if my corn came. I'm kind of waiting for another box of corn to come to go do that other field that Phil had worked up yesterday, because I don't have enough seed to plant it, and it's 10 miles away, and I don't want to go there and not be able to finish it. So I'm going to see if that came, and then if not, we're going to go drive around and see where the next best place is to go and keep spotting stuff in like we have been, because yeah, we just have a couple different scenarios going on with fields being too wet yet, and I don't know, we'll figure it out. We did it again. Wasn't me this time. Phil was cleaning out in the field because we're switching to put them real early beans in, and he left a door open. Pile of beans. We cleaned up the ones we could get without the rocks in it and put them back in there. No big deal. Let's go do some field scouting. Figure out where we want to go next. All right, this field is ugly. It's got weeds, it's bad. We're still fighting off last year's prevent plant in this field, and I'm not proud of it. We've got a few different things going on here. So this section of the field is relatively dry. There's a hole over there that's a little wet yet. We can go around that. But basically everything from here that way needs replanted. There is some stuff on that side that's pretty good. So it's a spot in, but it's a replant most of it type field. The issue is this is just a smaller portion of the bigger field, and what do we do with the rest of it? And then there's this. What do we do with this ditch that we now have in our field? That's wow, that's bad. That is really, really bad. We just had way too much water too fast. Couldn't take it. So that kind of leads down to this hole where all of that dirt is now located on this pile. But over there it's still too wet to get through, although there's corn through some of that. You can see the nice stand of corn up on the hills there. So that's what we'll leave. We can replant some of this in this low ground, but some of it not. And then as soon as you climb up out of this where the water sat, there's corn again. But that portion of the field kind of behind me is the bigger portion of this field, and this field is in really bad shape. Like to the point where we were talking about tearing it out, starting over, but it's so wet in the dips and the low ground, and I'll show you in a minute, that we wouldn't be able to do it probably even this week. So it's kind of a, maybe we should tear this out and plant beans in here. See the water down there? And then there's spots like this where it's just holding water and it ain't going anywhere. How long do we wait to try and plant corn in here? Or do we just give it a couple weeks to let it dry out and say, forget it, we'll plant beans? Good news, our corn's here. So that changes my plans a little bit. Okay, I went and got my truck. I got one of those boxes of corn we're gonna take back, put it on the seed tender, and all those beans we traded, gone. Okay, so here's the plan. We are going to take the corn planter and we're gonna set 10 bags on the platform. We're gonna go over to the field that we were just in with the ATV and plant that piece that I said that we could do. The piece that doesn't have all the water in it and drowned out spots or low spots and stuff. And piece that in. And then we are going to come back here. We're going to plant our planter empty. That's why we're not going to put the bags in, because we want the planter to be empty when we're done with this. And then we're going to come back here, load up the box, go to that field that's 10 miles away, 75 acres, and go plant that tonight. Okay, I decided to put 6 of those bags, just put them in the planter, because if I can't guess closer than 25 acres, I'm not very good corn planter operator. So anyway, I put 6 in, left 4 on the platform. Let's go. Why are you replanting this, you might ask? I can see the rows just fine. Yes, you can see the rows just fine. Unfortunately, that's not corn. That's the weeds that found the starter that we put on and decided, oh, I can grow really good now. It's time for a new segment on the Border View Farms YouTube channel. Seems every now and then I say something that ruffles a few feathers, should we say. So we're going to start the Nathan's controversial statement of the day segment. For today's segment, a little bit of erosion is a good thing. You know why? Helps make the fields flatter. Thoughts? Discuss. Bet that's not where you thought I was going with that. More complaining just because I can. See that electric pole? We've complained about them being in the fields enough, but recently that cross member broke and the wires were hanging down. See those tracks? They go all the way out to that road. Now why, when there's a road right there, would they come from that way? Power companies. I'm surprised they didn't come from that road. Okay, I'm done complaining. Aside from the few weeds, look how pretty this corn down here is. We got a beautiful stand on this black dirt that's not underwater. Looks great. It's starting to look like I put too much seed in the planter. We've only got a few rounds left, and I can see it at the bottom there, but my low tank light's not on yet. Crap, we were supposed to be empty. I thought I would need quite a bit more than what I did. Flexin'. Who needs a fence? Alright, I finished up that field where I was at. I had this one next door that we actually drove by it a little bit ago, and I said that it was beautiful and we didn't need to pull in there, and I was right, because it is beautiful. But since I had some seed left, I decided to just come in and check these back ends that I thought might be a little bit thin. They are, so I'm patching them in. I don't know if this stuff's going to grow either, but at least it's using up some seed, and we're giving it a shot. So, plus, look at that. My low tank warning light just came on, so we're good. I'm just going to make another pass on this ends, and we're going to go back to the farm and put one of those boxes in. Didn't get it empty, but close enough. Reloading. To the next field. Now, if this ain't the most redneck thing you ever seen in my life, I don't even know, man. Dude's riding a Harley on a trailer going down the road. Are you kidding me? That's hilarious. Lunch pit stop. Nothing to see here. Maybe dinner. Whatever. Pizza and Dr. Pepper. That'll do. Maybe a Snickers hiding in there. Well, we are planting. Got this last field here. This is another one. Start over field. Phil was down here yesterday with the field cultivator. I'm amazed at how much different this ground worked up, and I don't know what the problem is here yet. I don't know if you guys can see it very well or not, but this field was rough when we planted it the first time. It was rough when I planted the cover crops here last summer, and we worked it again with the field cultivator, and it's still rough. I don't know if it's just the soil type, if it's not wet. I mean, it's ground's dry. So we're planting and it's going all right, but I would sure like it to be a little finer and smoother. As nice as some of those other fields worked up, I would have thought this one would be better too. But anyway, there's about 75 acres here between three different little fields, and there is not much that Phil left. I'll show you what he did in this field when we get it's back there on the other end. So yeah, this is what it is. Also, hold on, I'll show you. No, maybe not. I've got my live stream scheduled half hour. So right here, this little corner is all that's left in this field. Looks really good right here, but this ground changes fast, and it didn't take long before we tore it all out. Start over. Alright, well, I just finished up an hour and a half long live stream. Thanks for all of you that watched and participated in that. I still really enjoy doing those. Those are a lot of fun. Anyway, we got that front field over there done. I didn't even look to see how many acres I planted in it because I was busy answering questions. But we're working on this back field here. I've got, I don't even know, no idea where we're at. We're probably about half done with it, so we'll keep moving across here. We're up to a little over 275 acres total for replant. So the acres are piling up, that is for sure. We've got to finish this, and then there's a little over there, 6 acres or so across the ditch, and then we'll be done here. Probably done for the night. 7:30. Assume it'll be 9 o'clock before we get back to the farm. I doubt we're going to go anywhere else tonight. So anyway, we'll keep plugging away at it. Phil did not leave much here. There may have been 5 acres in that front field, and there's an acre or 2 over here on this one that he left. So we're replanting most all of it. There goes a couple more deer over there. I've seen a bunch of them the last 2 days. Well, there's the little bit that was good in this field that we're not gonna do. So this is the last pass in this field, and all we gotta do is jump across the ditch, do that little bit over there. Last little point rows. Watch them tick off. And we're done. Okay. Well, that's a big chunk out of the way. Anybody remember how many acres we had when we started this morning with replant? I have to look it up. But we're up to 290 now. 180, 182, something like that seems to ring a bell. So we did a little over 100 acres today. All right, we're back at the farm. It is a really nice night. Like, beautiful. Sun's shining, it's warm, it's not cold, the wind died down. It's really nice. Anyway, it's about 9 o'clock, so we're going to call it for planting tonight, because the next stuff that I'll have to do is patch in work, and I don't like doing that in the dark. So I'm going to go home. Doesn't look like we're going to get any rain tonight, clearly. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, but it's supposed to be a nice day tomorrow as well. We will keep planting corn. I've got 2 fields, 1 big field. I know that we can go and patch in some stuff that I don't think is too bad. It's that field that we irrigate, and when I was up there, I was really surprised how good the corn looked. But there was some spots that completely drowned out that I want to try and patch. So we're going to do that. We're also... I'm going to send somebody with the field cultivator over to that field where we had all the volunteer beans and the other one over there, and we'll try and get those 2 done tomorrow. There's 100 acres there, so that one's a big one. And what else? Then we've got basically everything else that we've got is just the fields right along the river down here that there's still a lot of water on. That and the other one that I showed you today that we did part of today. So I don't know what we're going to do with them yet. We're going to have to go and look. But those other 2 will probably keep us busy most of the day tomorrow. So that's the plan. I'm also going to keep up on the beans. I don't know if we have more beans that we need to replant. If Phil needs more seed, I basically got nothing left. So I do have more corn coming tomorrow and a truckload of beans coming on Friday. So we'll wait on them if we have to, or maybe I'll go and try and find some in the meantime. But I don't know, that's the plan. So anyway, sorry if you missed out on my live stream. Again, I know it's sort of short notice. I wish I could plan those out a little bit farther, but that's how it works. So anyway, hit the like and subscribe buttons for me, please. I know that a lot of you still aren't subscribed to my channel because only about 44% of the people that watch this are. So hit that button. It's like right there. It pops up at the end of the video. So anyway, have a good night. Leave me any questions, comments that you might have. We'll see you guys tomorrow.